All right, so welcome back to another episode of Search Engine Mastery Podcast. This is the show for search engine optimization, and this podcast was launched to deliver high quality insights, best advice, and tips from the top experts to our community. Yeah, so our guest speaker for this episode, right now we are doing episode 8, and I'm with Sir Anton Shulke, the live stream guy. Hi, Anton, how are you?
Hi, Kherk. How are you doing? Thanks for having me. Yeah. And thanks for adjusting the time because the first thing you suggest it should be my 3 a.m. and it would be very, very, very difficult to do it at 3 a.m. So now it's much easier. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. By the way, guys, to those of you who doesn't know Anton, so he is the head of influencer marketing at Duda, and he works with Semrush before, right?
Yeah,
As a head
I used to be
influencer as well.
with Semrush, yeah, more or less the
Mhm.
same capacity for 5 years, and 2.5 years ago moved to Duda. Duda is
Duda.
CMS.
Oh, wow.
CMS, yeah,
Mhm.
CMS similar to Wix or WordPress.
Awesome, awesome. And you're also doing uh, live streams, webinar, podcasts, and other live events.
Yeah, we do
And
a lot of live events similar to
mhm.
this one. I remember being at SEMrush. We had you as well on one of them, and I
Yes,
think I think it was on a what is it, Tagalog language?
yeah, it's in Tagalog language.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
exactly,
thank you about
exactly.
that. We had it like almost 3 years ago or 3 years ago, I believe.
More than three, probably. Okay, okay, because I moved to do the 2.5 years ago, so it was before that, so 3 or 3.5 years ago. Yes, it was. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to have you here in my show. I appreciate it. And also to all the viewers out there. And we are pleasure and honor to have you here. So before we start our podcast, can you tell me more about who Anton is, where you started, and why you like live stream production?
Yeah, okay. It's all started 2015. I
Mm-hmm.
think almost 9 years ago, and I used to live in Spain, but it was a crisis. If you remember, crisis of
Oh,
2008.
yes.
I used to have a lunch bar. I had to close all this. Eventually, I end up back in Ukraine, and I
Okay.
start. Originally, I start teaching people because I have to live on something. I start teaching people English and Spanish. I do speak Spanish as well,
Wow.
and I had a interesting case, interesting student, and a Ukrainian guy. He was behind a web promo company called Web Promo Academy, and they had a
Mm.
very success with. They have a funny as business modus operandi. They were doing educational webinars, and after that, they call everyone who registered and try successfully selling courses, SEO,
Awesome.
PPCs, content marketing courses. So they operated and it was reasonably successful. So he decided they're gonna go and conquist the world, mostly English speaking world. He did speak
Mm.
reasonably good English, but it was rusty. So he employed me as a teacher
Mm.
to restart his English, refreshing his English because he wanted to do it himself. After a couple of weeks, it became reasonably clear that he would need some time to refresh his English
Okay.
up to the level he would be able to run webinars in English. And
Mm-mm.
I thought it probably would be easier for me to learn a little bit about marketing and
Okay.
do this webinar instead of him just going through the whole. By the way, today he speaks very good English and he lives in
Wow.
Portugal because of the war. But at that time, so and but if you give someone's idea, someone look at this idea as a external or foreign, put it this
Mm-mm.
way, idea, and usually people kind of very often against it just because it's not your idea. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't tell it to him. So I kind of suggested couple of things. So basically, I left it on the table, not saying it, and he got the message, but he didn't. And after a couple of weeks, I think he thought about it, and
Mm-mm.
it was growing in his mind, was his idea. This is very important tactics,
Oo.
if you can, if because people love their own ideas, people would fight for their own ideas, and
Okay.
people might resist your ideas because
Mm.
it's not there. So he believed it was his ideas, and one day when I came to class, he said, "Look, I had a great idea. Why instead of you teaching me, it will take some time.
Oh,
We will teach you marketing, and you will
oo.
be doing those webinars for us."
Oh,
It's how all
oh.
started. So
It started there.
it started this way, and I didn't know anything about SEO, particular marketing. Well, almost none, but I managed. And this project didn't work well because
Mm.
they didn't have a product. So
Oo.
we built the webinars. We had many people, Barry Schwarzer and Fishkin and other people, but the company itself doesn't have a product to sell in English. They didn't have expertise. They didn't have proper English speakers and everything.
Mm.
So product died down
Oo.
eventually. But Semrush called me and suggested if I can move to Semrush. That's how all
Oo.
started. Yeah, but um, I use webinars not for sake of webinars and
Oo.
not for many other reasons.
Mm.
Because people doing it for different reasons. It's interesting to ask you why you doing this, why you
Mm.
start this series. But I mostly do webinars for influencer marketing. This is the major reason. The reason number one,
Okay.
influencer marketing. So
Okay.
I brought people. Always it would be much more effective if today, instead of do it online, we would go to coffee somewhere in Philippines. I've never been to Philippines. I wish
Oo.
I could go somewhere in a
Oo.
cafe, have a coffee and talk, and it would be much easier to establish relationship and everything. Well, in most cases, it's impossible. It's very difficult and
Okay.
it's costly and everything. But
Mm.
it could be done online. Technology is here to
Yeah.
be done online. Uh, but it would be strange if I just call someone I don't know and say, "Hey, how about we have 15 minutes to talk about just I don't know, general life and everything."
Mm.
It sounds kind of weird. Uh, Obviously, as you probably have, I have it almost every day.
Yeah.
Email saying sales email say, "Oh, we're doing this and this. How about quick talk about everything?" This is completely different. When people try to sell you, you probably not really in, unless they selling something you really need.
Yeah.
You probably don't really want to talk to them because it's
Oo.
kind of, they trying to sell you. You don't want to sell just so. But instead of that, you approaching someone, say, "Look, I'm doing webinar. I'm doing webinar with someone who's, I don't know, big guy already,
Yeah.
and I
Oo.
think you might be a good panelist for this. How
Mm.
about doing webinar with us?" People usually, 90% of the people usually say, "Yeah, of course."
Oh, yes.
Especially if you do it right, if you already have a right construction, and if you have a name, for example. Because obviously, if you started yesterday, you don't have a, you still have a chance, but probably
Correct.
takes time before you get name. But when you already got name, people might hear you, or people
Mm.
might see who already been onto
Mm.
your webinars and everything. People usually agree. This is a way you can pull people, talk to them, and everything.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
after the webinar, so people asking about KPI, marketing people like all this KPI and everything, and people look at webinars, for example, live stream. I prefer call them live stream, uh, from different. So salespeople obviously want to get leads, and
Mm.
they want to get qualified leads, and they want to sell, and all those kind of things. Uh, Understandable. We all want to get at the end of the, beginning of the month, our salary to pay our bills and everything, and it comes from sales, of course.
Yes.
But not everyone is in a sale, and I do
Correct.
webinars mainly for influencer marketing in order to establish is a first step, and maybe second and third step to establish a relationship with particular influencer. For example, today you doing it, but I try to use this opportunity. We do already have a relationship with you, but I try to use this opportunity just to kind of put it on a higher level,
Ah.
because you're an influencer. Of course, you're
Mm.
an influencer. And
Yes.
for example, when I first time I met you,
Oo.
I remember was Craig Campbell, you and
Yeah,
all
3
this
years
team.
ago.
Yeah,
Oo.
more than 3 years ago, I think.
More than 2 years ago.
Yeah, so you probably at that point was not huge influencer, but you
Mm.
obviously you grew up,
Yeah,
and
correct.
when people are saying, okay, why you wasting time with those people?
Mm.
I usually my answer usually, well, you don't know. Today he or she might be influenced on her mother, and that's it. But
Mm.
tomorrow, who knows? Maybe this person grew up and will be much bigger.
Oo.
We saw it many times. We saw many times.
Mm.
We started to work with people reasonably unknown. They already
Okay.
were experts, but they were unknown as influencers, because expert and influencer is not the same. Of course,
Yeah.
influencer must be an expert, but not
Mm.
every expert could know a
That's
lot of
right,
stuff,
that's right.
but people don't know about him or about
Mm.
her, and so this expert is not influencer yet, but it could be converted to influencer. And we saw it, and we even, I think, we helped couple of people really
Wow.
push them, because we started with them because of their knowledge, not
Mm.
because they've been known, but we've been doing things with them, and we kind of put them
Mm.
uh, uh, on a picture. I'm not saying we made them famous, no, but we
Uh-huh.
helped. We helped,
We
and they obviously were good enough for the grab with opportunity and go. It's why I think it's very important. I even often agree to sales calls, expecting just to talk to people to understand. Even I'm probably I'm not gonna buy anything because I'm not really interested. So, for example, nowadays, it's very fashionable nowadays. I mean, probably year or almost 2 years. Uh, Influencer marketing platform, influencer marketing software, where where people put together. I wouldn't call them influencer, even they are. I
mm.
would call them creators. Create
Creators.
a lot of creators, usually creators from Instagram, who create some videos, who's
Mm.
got already some audience.
Yes.
And actually nowadays, today, when I said influencer marketing, most of the people probably thought about this way of influencer marketing. For myself, I even wrote an article about it. For myself, I split
Mm.
because of my Semrush background. I split those two approach to influencer marketing as a PPC approach and SEO
Mm.
approach. It's nothing to do with PPC
Mm.
and SEO. It's just analogy. So
Mm.
what is PPC approach for me? So for example, you as a company, you have a product, whatever your product is, doesn't matter. You have a product, and you check those influencers, and you think, okay, this guy or this girl are fantastic. Audience is exactly your audience, and you go to this influencer and say, look, this is a product, this is a money, okay, and do something. So this those
Mm.
influencers I usually create short video and put on their own channel, because it's for their own audience. So you pay them money, they're going through these videos, and hopefully you get sales or whatever you want to do with this. This is I call PPC style, because it's
Ah.
exactly trade.
Okay.
You pay money, and you immediately get some kind of result, traffic
Yes.
or whatever it is. Uh,
Mm.
and as a PPC, it has some advantages, like immediate effect, some
Mm.
disadvantages as well. So from influencer marketing, I would think what the disadvantages? Is your influencer, he or she doesn't care about your product really. You pay money. Okay, if your product is
That is correct.
complete
Oo.
shit, they might say for just to save a reputation, we won't do
Mm.
that. Or they ask you for double money or triple money, but otherwise they don't care. You stop paying, it's usually just gone forever. And that's it, nothing. And tomorrow, this influencer can do work for your competitor, for example.
Uh,
I think this is disadvantages, but advantages always is immediate start, uh, but it takes money, so it's trade. Um, Approach I usually, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that this is one approach. It is mainstream today, but another approach which I use, is establish personal relationship
personal
uh,
relationship.
with the expert, with you,
Mm.
for example, and after that, uh, if it works, because sometimes it doesn't work, because sometimes, well, you feel no chemistry and it's so difficult to talk, and it doesn't work. Okay, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't be friends with everyone. So if
That's
if
right.
it work if it works, and if this expert like or even loves your product, for example, you try to convert this personal relationship into
Yeah.
institutional relationship, and try to convert this expert, who's your friend now, kind of friend, into a brand advocate. It not always works. So, for example, you know perfectly how SEO tools works, for example, and I can give you example on web builders and CMS as well, but on SEO tools. So I work for Semrush, and for
Mm.
example, one of the main competitor was, and
Okay.
still is Ahrefs. And people who loves Ahrefs, they say
Uh,
Ahrefs is the best. Ahrefs is whatever you
yeah.
say. So
Mm.
convert someone who loves and who use Ahrefs into SEMrush, almost
Oh.
impossible. But it's almost impossible to convert SEMrush lava into Ahrefs as well. So I just don't
Mm.
don't go there. But there are
Mm.
so many experts who probably use different tools, who are not
I
affiliated with
yes.
anything, and you work with them, and why I call it SEO? Well, it's nothing
Mm.
to do with SEO, but it's,
Mm.
it's kind of similar, because it takes time. Because, for example, we met
Takes time.
today. We met today. We talked a couple of times. After that, you were on one of my webinars. Hopefully, you love it and everything. So you became, but you still didn't do anything to as a what we expect as an influencer to do brand awareness, leave it alone, sales. So it takes longer time. Like
Takes a
SEO
long time.
PPC is more or less immediately. You
Mm.
start things and goes. SEO takes usually longer time. You know
Yeah.
perfectly. It might take SEO itself might take 3 months, 6 months. And here, this approach takes time, because you
Time.
building it up. You building it up,
You build it.
and it's not exact trade. It's not like
Mm.
I'm building relationship with you because for every call I pay you $100. It doesn't work this way. We build relationship. Of course, we try to get you something, because you
Yeah.
have to eat as well, and money somewhere there, but it's not direct trade.
Mm. Not
And
direct.
uh, and similar to SEO approach, this approach to influencer marketing, actually, it it's a long running story. So I met people, some people I met in 2015, and we
Mm.
still, with some of them, we're still friends, and we're still helping each other, and everything. And it
That's good.
works as influencer marketing. So, for example, you know, but maybe your audience doesn't. I do a charity
I watch
project.
a lot of your videos. Yeah.
Yeah, I do a charity project, which has nothing to do with my business, which is just completely different. Because, okay,
Mm.
exactly today, 24th of
Mm.
February, 2 years ago,
Mm.
Russian invasion of Ukraine, my country, Ukraine started. Its war started, and I have a small charity project, nothing to do with business. I'm trying to help cats and dogs in Ukraine.
Mm.
Basically, I'm trying to help people who help cats and dogs, small shelters, and yeah, I can see you put this. Uh,
Yeah, it's in the banner. It's in the
yeah,
sidebar.
you
Yeah.
put this ticker set, and we decide with Alessia. Alessia was on your show before me, just before me, I guess, last week, and we decided to get a little bit more attention because most of the people who donate, they're from SEO community because it's
Correct.
my audience.
Correct.
So we
Mm.
decided to do this live stream. Live stream is not about charity, but it has charity dimension. You can actually donate and everything, which is you don't have to. It's all free. And we thought about, okay, we will do 1 hour webinar,
Wow. So,
but people start coming and saying,
mm,
I can help. I want to
mm.
help. Can I speak? And we ended up with 17 experts. It's not
Oh my God,
counting
that's a lot.
unless I myself. 17, 1 7
Oh, one
experts,
seven.
4.5 hours of sessions. Every session is half an hour. We have Barry Schwartz and Glenn Gabe, and we have many people. Yeah, guys, you go to this and click. But what I'm trying to say from influencer marketing, it it was so easy for me to arrange, not in technical terms, but speakers. I don't even need to go. Yeah, I placed obviously an announcement that I'm preparing this. Like, people start approaching me
Oh.
themselves
Mm.
offer, and at some point I even had to turn people down because I said, look, we had already 4.5 hours. Just we can't just go for it. We can go it for 24 hours or something like that. And
Yeah.
I even had to turn down
Oh,
two sponsors because okay, but you can't have
you can
20,000
have
sponsors. You can't
you can
just
have
put
yeah.
sponsors logos everywhere. We have several sponsors. One of our sponsors, Search Engine Journal, for example.
That's
Another
great.
sponsor is a StreamYard. Actually, you're doing this
Mm-mm.
this stream on a StreamYard, and StreamYard is
They love
our
your
sponsor,
cause. Yeah.
is our sponsor. And we have Systrix SEO tool, and we have InLinks, very,
Mm.
very, very, very special, and other. But they're all on a landing page. What I'm saying, I even had to turn down two sponsors with money.
Mm.
Why? Because it just was not enough. I couldn't dilute. I couldn't just put 1,000 sponsors. Well, I wish I
Mm.
could, but yeah, unfortunately. So this
Good
is
for you. Well,
Yes, this is how influencer marketing. If I would be doing only this PPC way, I would pay people to put. It could work. I'm not
mhm.
saying it's not, but probably if I would go to them and say, "Look, guys, I'm doing my personal. It's nothing to do with business. My personal charity event. Would you talk?" And say, "Okay, of course. Give me $1,000. I'll talk." Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Wow, I love listening about your story. I know you for like 3 years plus now, but this is the first time I heard all of it, and I'm blown away with your story. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for helping uh, dogs and cats. I really appreciate it, and also the people. So this will be a very successful event. Anton, and right now we have about 85 viewers. Hello, everyone. I'm now live in Facebook profile, Facebook pages, and groups, Instagram as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, drop it down below. We have question from Dave. I'm curious to know what is influencer marketing.
Yeah,
So
okay. I
Dave,
think I think I spent about 20 minutes explaining it, but
yes.
obviously,
Mm,
what is influencer marketing?
mm,
Influencer marketing when you use someone else
yeah. Mm,
influence
okay.
over his or her own audience
Okay.
into your benefit. So,
Oh.
for example, my today's influencer is you actually.
Mm,
So I'm using your influence, your audience
mm,
to push my message. But this is not really typical because it's kind of eye on your show. But generally speaking, influencer marketing, you have influencers, people who known in the industry, whatever industry, doesn't necessarily should be marketing or SEO, anything, absolutely anything. So you know someone who is known in the audience, and you this way or another, is beside the point. You try to push him to mention your product,
okay.
or to mention your service, or to
Mm,
mention whatever it is, Okay, sometimes it's not mentioning, sometimes it's just praising or
That's
something.
right.
But this is question of how you do it. But just for general question, you use influence of some other people to get advantage.
Mm. All right. So thank you for explaining it in a well detailed experience, Sir Anton. So another question from Elgin: do Instagram influencers work?
Yeah, of course, the work, because if it wouldn't, it's very general, okay? Because if it
Mm.
wouldn't work, it would die down by now.
Mm.
If it doesn't die down, of course it works. But it's like PPC. If you
Mm.
ask, does PPC work? It's a general.
Yeah.
Okay, of course it does. Well, of course,
Mm.
for some it does, for some it does not, because
Oh.
you have to know what you're doing, of course.
Oh. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. So a lot of influencer use Instagram like for e-commerce, selling things online. So they are in Instagram, and also same thing to what you said. PPC is still there, and also SEO. They said SEO is dead, but it's still there. You need to have the right strategy, right?
Yeah, and you probably have to use both of it, but you should know what you're doing, of
Mm.
course. And influencer marketing on Instagram, they probably work perfectly, but
Mm.
it also might depends on your product. So, for example,
Product, yeah,
if you
I agree.
if you're selling nice t-shirts, bright and
Nice
it
branding.
it's 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 very easy to visualize it. And you take an influencer who's got, I don't know, 20,000 people watching him or
Mm.
her
Mm.
every time, and put t-shirt and ask him or her to say, hey guys, I'm bloody doing something, go on the street or whatever they usually do, or dance. It depends what he usually gives to his audience or her audience, and say, look, I'm wearing today this beautiful cat t-shirts, and you can have one if you click on it, something like that, and it probably work
Mm.
fantastically well. Obviously, for some products it's much more difficult, especially for B2B
Mm.
product. Instagram influences much more. It's notoriously difficult because, for example, I work for Duda. Duda
Mm.
is a CMS. CMS, if
Sim.
you don't know, it's a software database basically which your website build on. So it's like WordPress, like Wix. Also, Duda is site builder as well. It's not only software itself, but it's a site builder. So you can open it, you can put picture, blah blah blah, and you go to a site. The same as WordPress or Wix. There are different, for example, WordPress is CMS and site builder like Duda, but Elementor,
Mm.
which is only website builder. CMS for Elementor would be Wix. Okay, so there's slight difference. So for those, and Duda is not for individuals. Not,
Mm.
for example, not for grandmother who wants to have a website with picture of. It's possible. It's possible, but it's not designed for that. It's designed for professionals. Professionals means people who live in from their websites.
Yeah.
But for Duda, the lowest marketing target would be digital agency. I'll explain it. Because, for
Okay.
example, if you just want a site, your own site, uh, for business or not for business, doesn't matter. For business, you only need one site for your business. Okay, if you have two businesses, two sites, but usually people just one. And because we charge, generally speaking, for site,
Mm.
so we only have one site. You can be 10 years customer with us, but you only paying for one site. If you digital agency and if you digital agencies who deal with web design for their clients, you can have 5 new sites a month. We have some huge agencies which already have 1,000 or 2,000
Mm.
size. So this is the difference. So obviously we will much more interested to have agency as a new client than some individuals. Yeah. Okay, but what
Uh,
I'm saying, but it's even with the individuals, it's B2B usually because we're looking for people who live from their websites. But main audience still agencies and the SaaS company who also offer a website for their clients. So to create short visual which would attract B2B is notoriously difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's much more difficult because it's so easy to show t-shirt, it's so easy to show I don't know, beautiful gadget or anything,
Oo. Oo.
but it's much more difficult to show in a short video, in the visuals, I don't know, advantages of a particular CMS. Extremely difficult. And another thing, you obviously, when you go into B2B, it's not like you want to cover million people. You want to cover just a few people on a certain positions, which is very, very difficult with Instagram. I think.
Thank you so much for explaining that well. From Tristan, Anton is the webinar king
Oh,
and
Tristan.
also a live streaming king.
Tristan is a long-running host for our some series of our webinars. We start with Tristan at Semrush, and we keep doing webinars, him hosting,
Oh.
and with Duda as well. And actually, hosting a webinar is extremely. It's people very often underestimate a host. Host you hosting right now, but
Mm.
it's a bit easy. It's just two of us. It's more interview style. A webinar usually have more people, have visuals and everything, and
Mm.
host is running the show. So, for example, I'm not hosting webinars anymore. I hosted it at the beginning, but for SEMrush or Duda, I don't. So, and you can prepare everything, but you're still behind the scene. And host is running the show. Host is making sure there is no pause, there is everything, and people not interrupting and everything. And usually, not usually, 100%, we have host has two roles: expert himself,
Yeah.
Tristam is as SEO expert, and the maestro of ceremonies. So, which is two roles. So people very often think, host is just guy or girl who's sitting there and juggling with the questions. It's
Mm.
not like that.
Mm.
Some people are extremely good hosts, natural born. For some people, it's more difficult. But it's always like this. Some people are very knowledgeable but not great speakers, and I've seen some people who can speak about anything,
Yeah,
knowing
I
absolutely
know
nothing.
too. Like you. Thank you. Chris, hello from Cebu. From Enrique, what problem is influencing marketing solving?
Influencer marketing is one of the channel of
Oh.
marketing channels. So,
Mm.
what's your marketing problem? So, for example, you need brand awareness. You can use many channels, including
Mm.
influencer marketing. Or because obviously, when some influencer who already got, I don't know, 20,000 people who listen or watch his tweets or read his tweets or whatever, and he comes and say, "Look, I recently found a new software, and new software is this, and it's great." Obviously, a lot of people will try it. It might be
Yeah.
not bring sales immediately, but probably
Yeah.
trials and everything. So, influencer marketing is just one of the marketing channels. Most at the very end of the tunnel, you want to sell, but
Mm.
influence market is not necessarily immediate sale. Even
Mm.
as I said, for especially for Instagram things, and for, how should I say, uh, more visual, more clear, especially B2C products,
Mm.
it usually comes straight to sell. For more complex B2B products, usually much longer way. Usually you get first brand awareness and recognition of brand, and all of these things, which eventually will come to sales. But is one of the marketing channel, and this is very good marketing channel. You should use it.
Yeah, but let's say for example for a brand new website or for like they have a budget but they are into marketing or digital just for 1 month. So do you recommend like this influencer marketing?
uh, there are many marketing channels. You cannot, you unless you're huge corporation with enormous budget, you can
Mm.
use all of them. But
Mm.
realistically, you can't use all of them. So you have to choose. And depends on your project. Influencer marketing might be good for you, might be probably not
Mm.
the main one. And if your project only for months, and after that you could, I don't know, you have a stock of something you want to sell, You
Mm,
don't need influencer marketing for that. Okay, you need a PPC. That's it. Just put it in the
mm,
PPC. Make sure you spend $1 and receive $2 in profit, and that's it. And sell your stock and close the project and forget it. Influencer marketing, it's a usually long running project,
mm.
usually, but of course it still could be done. You can use PPC, but you can use what I call PPC approach for influencer marketing, usually for slightly bigger projects than 1 month or something. But you might go to influencer and say, okay, we have this budget, do video
Mm.
for us and sell project. If project this nature, but I probably would think it's a long lasting marketing
Yeah.
channel.
So if you're looking guys for like instant result, then I agree with Sir Anton that influencer marketing is not for you. So since we are looking for long term or advantages for influencer marketing, can you please discuss the advantages and disadvantages for long term partnership with influencers?
Yeah, advantages are obvious. So obviously you have to find the right influencer
The right
who
influencer.
would influence your
Mm,
audience, your
mm,
potential. Because, for example, when I moved from Semrush to
uh-uh.
Duda,
Okay.
I thought who could be our audience, our influencer. And first, I thought, okay, we are in web design, so probably I have to go and find web design influencers and everything. But it happened to be wrong for several reasons. The first reason, if, for example, SEO people, they really have thriving community. You know
Yeah.
who. So, for example, if Barish was tomorrow publish something,
Mm,
probably half of the community will know it. Or if Aleda Salis will put it into her email, or will just say it, a lot of people, it's big influence. So it's quite clear what community is, what experts are, who influencers are. For web design, it's completely different. There is no such one community. There are
mm,
plenty of communities. They
mm,
usually split on a platform itself.
mm.
So there are plenty of designers on WordPress. There are designers on Wix. There are community of designers on a Duda. So, for example, we have a Facebook group for this community. It's about 2,000 plus web designers who use Duda. So, but they really split. And if you try to go to WordPress people and trying to use those influencers into Duda, it won't work. It just won't work. They're not interested and everything. So who might be interested completely different. So with Duda, for example, it was very clear in terms of agency. It's people who really not in web design or web producing of sites. They people with about money and about business. Why? Because with Duda you can do website for small mediums business, not for huge business. For small medium size business, you can do a website using Duda 3 to 5 times faster than
Okay.
with WordPress. For designer himself or herself, it really doesn't matter. They usually just if they're not freelancer, if in house, they usually just getting salaries, as I said. But for example, chief executive officer or chief revenue officer, it's very clear they can do the same amount of work with 3 times less time or with 3 times less personnel, which means less money, or they can scale very, very easily because they can. So those would be people who would be our target audience. So if we find out people who are target audience, we probably can find out people who might be influencers them. So influencers them probably would be people who talking about agency, building agency, a growing agency, what's the agency's problem and everything. So first you have to, okay, you said what's advantages and disadvantages. Advantages are always, but you have to do it
Always.
right. You have to do it right. You
Mm,
have to find right influence right audience. Not and very often intuitively it's not the same. So you can try to spend all the time influence web designers, and it probably would be loss of time and money. Okay, what is major, I would think, major disadvantage of influencer marketing is very difficult to report to your boss. No, it's
Very difficult to report.
absolutely true. Absolutely true. SEO also is difficult to report to your boss, but SEO obviously you can have a
You can have
runway,
a data.
some data. You can have some data,
Oh.
and people usually shows hockey stick, just traffic and everything, which
Mm.
is not exactly 100%, because sometimes you got traffic up and conversion down,
Mm.
and at the end nothing is beside the point. uh, Influencer marketing is much more difficult
Mm. So
to
how do you measure the success of influencer
Yes,
marketing?
this is a great question, and I have no answer for this question. How do you imagine success? Uh, Very difficult. It's usually on a kind of secondary things. So,
Mhm.
for example, when I joined Duda,
Okay.
Duda never ever been mentioned, for example, in resources like search engine journal. Since I joined Duda, Duda was mentioned. Some articles were only about Duda, but couple of them, but most of them they mentioned Duda, heavily mentioned. So 13 times, 1 3. It's for
Wow.
2.5 years in search engine journal. I'm not talking about
Mhm.
smaller places, but it's how it works. Why? Because of influencer marketing, because you bring in a
Mm.
big people, sometimes Google, sometimes Bing, sometimes other influencer, and they're talking about something, for example, and search engine journal authors will look at this and, oh, it's interesting. This might be interesting for what this person said. It might be interesting for our audience,
Mm.
and they publish it. And because it's on Do the webinar, yeah, obviously do this mentioned, but do this mentioned more times. It's how it works. It's in this world, it's very important who you know and who knows you.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from that. Okay, question from Chi, hello coach and Anton. Do we need to make a contract if I hire influencers?
It's very, it depends. If you're in, for example, I'm on your show, we didn't make any contact. I'm not getting any money from Kherk. I wish
Yeah.
I got $1 million, but I'm not. I'm why I'm doing it. Okay, first because I know him and he asked me to do it. I do it,
Mm,
but I see opportunity for myself, because
mm,
I'm talking to your audience, and most of them probably don't know, never heard about myself, never heard about Duda. So hopefully today I got a little bit more audience on my own. So it's not a charity I'm doing for you. No, it's a win-win situation.
mm,
So contract, if the money is exchanged, immediately money exchange, of course you have to do contract. You usually you don't just pay people. Okay, you go and tell them to use my software, and I'll send you $1,000. It doesn't work this way. Of course, legals,
yeah.
contracts, and
Mm.
everything. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for answering that. From Elgin, how would you handle a situation where an influencer's content goes against the values?
Okay, not really sure about exact question, but if you have a contract with the influencer and you agree, you pay the influencer that much money, and influencer
Mm,
doing this and this and this, and everything is a contract. He or she has to follow the contract, and if they don't, you just don't pay, or maybe even sue them. I'm not legal, so I don't know.
mm.
But influencer things we do. So for example, you call me for this is a live stream. So for
Yes.
example, if I stand up and start undressing, would it go against value? Of course it would. But
Mm,
what can you do? You can't really stop it. You
mm,
can put me in a blacklist after that and
mm,
apologize, and we do. Okay, I'm not never had anyone undressed, but people were doing some not hugely popular comments. Sometimes goes against women. Sometimes goes some kind of political comments which we
mm,
prefer not to have on a marketing. And what we usually do, we usually just not use this influence. We had, I don't want to say names, but we have complaints sometimes. Once I don't want to say who it was with. We had to take the recording down, and like it never happened,
Mm-hmm.
because complaint was a nature that speaker uh, really teaching things very close to. We thought
Uh,
it's on the verge of spam, but where several complaints say it's pure spam. Okay, it's question of look at it, but our legal team decided we will be on a better safer side. Safer side, and I had to take video down and everything is like never happened. But generally speaking, it's easy. Just try to work with the people who probably would not give you those surprise. And actually, it's another, I think, very important thing. Try to work with people who value what you're doing. Because I've done it many times. Okay, you think, okay, he's a star. He's a star. I really want him on my show. Everything,
oh,
and he said, okay, I'll do it. But with no enthusiasm, he or she doesn't see value. So because kind of or you came from friend or something, he agree. But it's so difficult to arrange. Those people, they don't go to test because, okay, I usually do test call and everything. Don't do preparations. They're late. They're not sending you presentation. They're not pushing their own events. So
oh,
for example, I usually expect people pushing their own event
mm,
on their audience. So, for example, today we saw a comment from Tristan, and Tristan, I'm pretty sure my audience, because I place couple of times, I'll be here on Saturday. So thanks, Tristan, for coming. But this is you expect from your speakers, and usually speakers who not value, they don't do it.
mm, mm.
And I actually, well, virtually, I wrote on the wall in a huge, only work with people who value working with you. Maybe they're not as big, maybe they're not as known, but you never know.
Mm.
Maybe tomorrow they will be known. But just don't work with people who he really doesn't want to work with you, really don't value what's you offering.
Thank you for that. So always have a value for other people. From Enrique, any idea how to create a content strategy for an influencer marketing campaign?
Yeah, it's another very, 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 very general question.
No, I agree.
As I said, it depends. So, for example, if you B2C and you have a product, and okay, you just find the influencer who has an audience which you think consists out of your potential people who will buy. Just explain. So, for example, you say selling the. Uh, ear 8. It's not ear 8, but yeah, you said ear 8. Ear 8 probably is older people. Some young people, but very little, mostly older people. So for them would be very strange if you find, I don't know, 20 years old girl who's dancing and something would be a good influencer. No, it would be probably influencer who is 50 plus talking about something. I'm not saying you have to go to just employ a retired person or something, but still you understand what I'm coming.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think the main strategy would be picking up in right influencers.
Picking the right influencer. Okay.
This is the main, and very often influencer himself or herself will because he knows
Mm,
he or
mm,
her, they know their own audience, and this is very important. You might know, you might think, oh, we should do this and this is it. And influencer can say, look, I've done it 20,000 times before. My audience like orange color. My audience hate blue color. I'm just, it's a joke, of course, but usually influencer know his or her own audience, and you probably should let your influencer a lot of room for maneuver.
mm. From Chi, thoughts in TikTok influencers
Yeah, TikTok
or
influencer
influencing. It's good.
fantastic.
Mm.
It's good, fantastic, everything. But the same thing, is very good for B2C.
B2C.
For some products could be very visualized, and it's very difficult for B2B, for product, for complicated product, which is difficult to build. When I say difficult, it means difficult. It does. I didn't say it doesn't work, but it's
Mm.
much more
It's just a
difficult because,
difficult.
of
Yeah.
course, if you're selling a woman's Italian shoes for women, it's so easy to create visual. Yeah,
Mm.
I can see it in my head. But if you do some software, which, for example, we have a customer, do the customer who is creating, who is doing a software for HR companies. So it's difficult to visualize how would you do a 1 minute or less video which would really attract attention. People say TikTok is only for young people. I disagree. I'm not young. I'm watching TikTok myself, and I'm pretty sure even people even older than you are watching. So age is no problem. The problem is if you can visualize to
Mm.
attract attention or make a story, not necessarily visualize, because visual is usually kind of advertisement stuff. Maybe not. Maybe someone comes and someone explains things and everything. Why not? So I think the TikTok is as good as everything else. You just have to find the right stuff. The influencer should be right influencer and should be doing the right stuff for their audience.
From Dave, I'll join your charity event, sir, and
Yeah, fantastic.
ageless me as well. Thank you so much, guys, for participating, and
Yeah, and
hopefully you'll join.
as I said, you will learn a lot because we ask people who
Mm.
step forward and said we want to help brand new presentations. So what you will watch would be, well, reasonably new, reasonably brand new. Most of the people are very experienced in their what they're doing. A
Mm.
lot of people very known, like Barry Schwartz,
Yeah,
for example.
I see the
So
list.
yeah, so guys, and it's free. It's free, and you don't have to donate. Of course, I want you to donate, of course,
Mm. Of
but
course.
this is not must thing. So it's SEO event, SEO live stream, 4.5 hours. You don't have to stay 4.5 hours. You can choose a session because you can see agenda, you can see session, what you want to watch. If you donate, it's fantastic. Talking about donation themselves, uh, the donation could start from just five. It's a site called Buy Me a Coffee. Could start from $5. $5 is a cost of coffee, at least in the
Mm.
Western country. In Ukraine, it's cheaper. I guess in Philippines, it's well Ukrainian
Mm.
cost of the coffee probably cheaper than $5. But still, $5 would not change our life. But $5 would change particular cat who would be fed for, I don't know, for a week or so. That when I started it almost 2 years ago till today, I probably 1,000 times regretted of starting it, but another day, thousand times I was so happy that it works. Regretting it because this is not charity to buy something, because you have sometimes you have a goal, you need, I don't know,
Mm.
5, 10, $20 million,
Mm.
whatever your goal is, you collect it, you've done, you bought the stuff, you brought it, you tick a very thick green tick, you've done a fantastic. This is you helping feed, mainly feed, and so money mainly goes to feeding animals and to medicine, of veterinarian, and it's never ended. Because animals eat every day, or they want to eat every day. So and you think, okay, you send money today and they feed it, and for a couple of weeks they fun. 2 weeks later they still need the money again.
Oh.
They still
Oh.
again need the money because they need more feed. So
Yeah.
it's never ending.
Never
I don't know.
ending.
I put myself into it, and it's going for 2 years already. So, and I had a appearance, because of the anniversary of the war. There were several appearances about the war and everything a couple of days ago, and the guy said, okay, hopefully in 6 months time war will finish, and and he implied that I can just left this project. Yeah, but war will finish one day, surely. I don't know when, but those animals will still need to eat.
Mm.
So it's never ending project. So if you can help, would be fantastic. Also, I would if you can, of course, if you can,
Mm.
I would prefer to have a, we call it members like here you did as as a regular donation, $10 a month. Is less, yeah, you can do five, it's just $10 for me, and you will get this t-shirt, by the way. Hopefully
Yeah,
it's
a,
already in the
a
post,
cool
hopefully
T-shirt.
will be soon. By the way, t-shirts I print on my own money. I don't use donated money
Oh,
for t-shirts, just
oh,
my own money. So
wow.
but because it's every month, kind of,
Oh,
I can first I can plan, and I don't have to run around every day to try to get attention, because some money coming in. And right now, if you look at this, this shares the okay. I'll actually, yeah, I'll give you not only, okay. Right now we have 47 members, and we're giving $622 a month every month, and
mm,
it really, this is not okay. I'm sending you a link in the chat of
okay.
the
Uh,
original product, original
okay.
project itself. So those things really helps regular things, because you can just, you can, okay, $622 a month is, it's not huge amount, but it's some amount. You can buy that much of food and medicine. So you kind of can little bit relax in terms, okay, the next month we'll still will get some money.
I'm going to I'm going to add the link here in my screen.
Yeah, but that link is also on a live stream as well.
Yeah, here. All right. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and
guys, if you're interested to donate, so we can help cats and dogs in Ukraine, it's free for you to do it, guys. You
it's
can
not free
donate
to,
like,
if you donate,
oh no, what I mean is you can donate like $10, $20, or depends on you. So let's do it.
yeah, and
It's
as
a
I
good
said,
cause.
and as I said, it's not must.
Mm,
If you can donate, fantastic. If you cannot
mm.
donate, you can share it with your friends.
Share it.
Maybe
Yeah.
someone can donate. And anyway, come and register for live stream. It's not about trying to squeeze you for money. It's giving you knowledge, SEO, mainly SEO knowledge, and it's free. If you donate,
Mm.
fantastic. If you not donate, just come ask your questions, do your comments and everything.
Awesome. Actually, I really like your cause. A lot of people was going to create a charity, but it's a different charity. Like for example, helping other people, but you is very unique. Imagine cats and dogs in Ukraine. What a brilliant idea is that? And
It's probably
yeah,
not unique. A lot of people like cats and dogs, but in SEO community, yep, it's probably just one off thing. Yeah,
one of the yeah. So I really like your cause, and
yeah. Thanks.
I'm also going to share it on my students, so my paid students, so they can also join and donate, of course. Thank you so much for that. And all right, so to those people uh, interested to start influencer marketing, so what are you advice for them?
Well, I started kind of during a battle itself. So basically, I was thrown and I started. Uh, it is, if you want to do this SEO way, this is mainly on a relationship with people. So you really have to look at how you talk to people, what relations and everything, and. Uh, I using webinars and live stream. You using the live streams as well.
Mm-mm,
It's easy. It's very cheap,
mm-mm,
and probably it's very good way of starting your influence marketing uh, trajectory.
mm-mm,
And you can start with people who ready to do that. Don't buy
mm-mm,
them. My very, because if you start paying people
mm-mm.
for that, you open a Pandora box, and everyone would ask you for money.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I said it, it doesn't mean you have to be a parasite and try to bring in people, try to get advantage. First, you have to think what you can offer for
Offer.
those for those influencer, how, why they should come to you, for example, to your show. Okay, they might come for reason because they know you, fantastic. they might come for a reason they expect that you will be growing bigger and bigger, and it
Mm.
would benefit them. They would come to because they think your particular audience is completely new audience for them, and it would be very good to have it. Uh, Different things, but first things. I remember as John Kennedy said, it's not what your country can do for you, think what you can do for your country. I obviously very liberally change it and think what you can do for your influencers. This
It's
is
a good
very,
thing.
very important, not what he can do for you. Of course,
Mm.
it's for you eventually it's much more important. But if you start with it, it's not gonna work. It's like you probably receiving a thousand, no, not thousands, dozens of offers, whatever offers, guest post, all this. When people just they
Every
don't
day.
know, they don't know you. They just go
Oh,
straight, jump and say,
yeah.
"Oh, I'm offering this. Go." This is doesn't work. Why it doesn't work? Because
That's right.
obviously you have to research. So
Mm.
it's no point to send 100,000 people just absolutely non-personal message, and it's just people probably put you in as a spam, and it will never. Maybe it's better to send three messages, but you research people, you understand people, you try to please them before. Maybe you have to like their post. Maybe you
Mm.
have to write good comments before and everything and share. And after that, you come and offer something. Don't come
Mm.
and say,
Offer some.
"Hey, guy, look, I'm having this product. Can you upload it on or what's product hunt? Can you upload
Mm.
it?" This is a wrong thing because
Oh,
if they don't know you, why should I blah blah
you're wasting
upload
your
it?
time as well.
Yeah, I've heard
Mm.
it all the time. People doing all the stuff. This is wrong. Just put yourself in the shoes of
Mm.
this person and think. Try to treat people like you wanted to be treated. You don't want some spam account to you and say, "Oh, click here, click here, click here. I don't know, buy from me."
Yeah.
You never hear.
Mm.
Or sometimes people come and say, "Oh, can you do a review? Can you do a review on LinkedIn or whatever so that I'm great?" I said, "No, I can't. I can't. I don't know if you're great or not, and I have my own reputation. Yeah, I
Mm.
only will do review for something I do know, I do use, I know people and everything. So don't do like this. But you wouldn't like if someone tomorrow here just go to your LinkedIn or we talking on Facebook usually on your Facebook and said, "Oh, here could you I don't know vouch for me." No, you can't. You don't.
Mm.
I can't vouch for you. I don't know you. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you spammer. Maybe you great person. I don't know. So, but you can't start with this. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. So yeah, you're talking for about 1 hour now, and I know uh, it takes time. So yeah, any last words for our viewers, and also if there's anything you want to promote, please share it now, Anton.
Okay, I think influencer marketing, as any real marketing, is a relationship. Maybe email marketing is less in relationship, more on writing good copies and everything. Influencer marketing, from my point of view, is all about relationship. So,
All.
if you think a relationship with people is what you like to do,
Mm.
and it's you strong in it, you can listen, which is extremely important.
Mm.
Oh, sorry, I didn't really much listen on this show, but I thought it's my show. Okay, but usually you really have to listen. If you think it's what okay, then it might be a good
Mm.
channel for you. But if you're writing a brilliant email copies, maybe you have to concentrate on email marketing. You cannot do everything. Just try to do what you do best. Yeah.
Mm. Best advice. Yeah, thank you for that. Do you have any thing to promote aside from this, Anton?
Yeah, I think I'm promoting just too much already. Okay, guys, if you can donate, fantastic. Uh, starting from $5 single donation. Better, of course, if you can do a regular donation. If you cannot, you can share it with the rest. And about live stream, it's February 29.
Mm.
Unfortunately, if you on in Philippines, it probably would be a very crazy time for you. But it's always a recording. It's always a
It's recorded,
you
yeah. So it's
you
fine.
can always use a recorded, but register just to get those recorded. Uh,
Awesome.
and thank you here for having me. It's very unusual Saturday. I usually lie down on my sofa on a Saturday, but I still have plans. It's all only midday here, so
Thank you
thank you
so
for
much
having me.
again for accepting my invitation. I really appreciate it, and also for sharing your knowledge about influencer marketing. And people are very interested for this topic as well.
Yeah,
So,
I'm also always open to help if someone need help. Help it doesn't mean I will do and go and do everything for you, bring you
mm,
people, everything. No, but helping just steer you in couple right
uh,
direction. You can ask Kherk, and Kherk could introduce you to me, or you can go to my LinkedIn, Twitter. It's not
yeah,
not
if you have any
really.
questions about Anton, guys, I know we still have questions here, but I cannot answer it right now. So if you have follow-up questions, you can ask Anton Shaw in Facebook. And also you can contact me if there's anything
Yeah.
you want to ask about how you can donate or whatsoever. I'm going to send the link to you guys. And for those viewers right now who's interested to donate, just visit this link I added here. So right now we still have about 76 viewers from all over my share. So thank you so much for watching. And once again, Anton, thank you so much uh, for going here. Appreciate it. And also for your time. We learned a lot from you today. Hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, fantastic, and have a great weekend. What's left on this?
All right. Thank you so much once again, Anton.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Chris. Cheers.
Thank you, Chris.